guys, this is Carlise, and on today's episode we are going to be making a banana bread. Okay, this is my famous recipe. This is what I've always used. This is what I've always made. So if you're ready to learn this recipe, let's get right on into it. So I have softened butter. You can see I can put my finger right into it. Okay, so I'm going to add this butter right into my mixture. And I have some sugar right here in a bowl too, and I'm going to add that right on into my mixture. And I'm going to use it with a paddle attachment. Okay, so I'm going to put that right on in. Put it up. And I'm just going to let my butter and my sugar beat for about 5 minutes until it's really well combined. So once we get to the stage that I want it to be at, we'll be right back. Okay, so now that our butter and our sugar is combined, we're going to add in our eggs. I have 2 eggs here that's also been sitting out at room temp, and we're just going to add that in one at a time. Okay, so now that our eggs are added in, we're going to add in all of our wet ingredients, okay? So the recipe calls for buttermilk. I don't have buttermilk sold in my local stores. I tried Walmart, I tried Food Line. Okay, so I make my own. So I have some milk, and I just put a teaspoon of vinegar for every cup of milk, okay? And I let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes or until it gets room temperature. And then I'll just make sure I keep whisking it so it does, no solids and stuff form, and it's evenly distributed, the vinegar inside the milk. So I'm going to pour that right in there because that was a very long explanation. So we're going to skip over it and just pour it in there. Okay, I have my mashed bananas. And y'all know how I am with my hands. I like getting my hands dirty. So I just mashed it with my hands because I didn't feel like mashing it and having to clean either my blender if I used my blender or my potato masher. So I just did it with my hands. Okay, so I'm going to put these bananas right on in. And these bananas are going to help your banana bread stay so moist. Okay, I promise you. It's going to be the most moist banana bread you ever had. If you had anything better than this, I really need to try it. So you're going to have to tell me where you get it from. Okay, so this is vanilla. So we're going to add about that much of vanilla. I'm not big on measuring, so I'm going to get all my wet ingredients mixed in, incorporated. It's going to look a little sloshy. And then we're going to add in our dry. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, so those are all mixed in. Now we're going to add in our dry. So I have some all-purpose flour right here. So let me level this down a little bit. We're going to add this right on in. Get it all in there. And then I have some baking soda and some salt, and I'm just going to put that right on in there. Okay, right on top of the flour. And we're going to mix this right on in. Okay, so that's all mixed up. Now I'm going to just let this loose. Okay, take my paddle attachment off. And I'm going to scrape down the sides and continue mixing it by hand. Just because I don't want to over mix my batter and get it tough and dry and too dense. Banana nut bread is already dense, but if we can stop it, we're going to stop it. So I'm going to scrape down my sides because I haven't done it this whole time. Okay. And give it a nice mix by hand. Finish it off. Okay, that looks great. So I have a prepared pan. Where did I put it? Whew. Y'all, listen. I'm new to this. Be patient. So I have a prepared pan right here. It's a loaf pan. I just sprayed it down with some baking spray, lined it with some parchment paper. Okay, and I didn't line all edges. I just mainly lined the bottom. You can see, and the sides. It'll make it easier to pull it right out if you have some hanging over, so that's why I do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour this right on in to my pan. Ooh. It looks good. So I'm gonna spread it out. Now this isn't gonna really rise much, so that's why I kind of have it as full as I do. And it's a little more than 2/3 of the way full. But like I said, this is a dense cake, okay? So it's not really gonna rise much. Now, top it off. Most people usually do their banana bread like this. They'll put it in the oven and leave it just like that. I like my banana nut bread to have a little bit of texture, and I keep saying banana nuts, and there's no nuts, right? So I like to put my nuts on top, and I like to also have a streusel topping. I don't really like biting straight into my banana nut bread and biting straight into a nuts. I don't know why. That's just personally how I feel. If you do like your banana nut bread to have nuts in the bread itself, I would say when you add in your nuts, and it's going to be about a cup of chopped walnuts in it. You can add that in when you add in your flour, your baking soda, and your salt, and mix it in at that time. Don't add it in before it, okay? But I like mine on top, and I like it with a streusel topping. So let's get right into that streusel topping. Okay, so for the streusel topping, I have about a half a cup of all-purpose flour. I have a 1/4 cup of firm packed brown sugar, and I have a teaspoon of cinnamon. To that, I'm going to add my nuts. This is about a half a cup of really fine chopped nuts, walnuts. I keep saying nuts, it's walnuts. Then I have about a half a stick of butter, which is about a 1/4 cup, okay? So a half a stick of butter, and y'all know me, this is a hand recipe. So I'm just gonna get all up in there until my mixture is nice and crumbly. My butter is softened, and that's helping me mix it around, okay? So mix it. And I prefer to do this with my hands just because I like to be able to feel the consistency and tell if it's ready. And you can't really do that with a fork or with a baking mixer. So I'm gonna keep doing this, and once it's done, I'm gonna show you how to put it on top of the cake, and we're gonna pop it in the oven. Be right back. Okay, so I finished with my monster hands. This is what my streusel is looking like. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty thick. It's very crumbly. It has a nice consistency and a really nice texture, okay? This is gonna bake beautifully. So I have my banana bread here. It's not baked, it's still sitting in the pan. And I'm just going to pour this right on top, okay? Dump it right on there. Cover every single inch of it. Don't let anything not be covered. I promise you guys, you're really gonna love this recipe. You are. Like I said, this is a really popular recipe of mine. Every time I have staff meetings at my job or employee meetings, this is what I bring. But I usually make it into muffins, blueberry muffins, stuff like that. But they love my banana bread, so I figured I'd just share this with you. Plus, my boss also wants me to make him some. So this loaf is actually going to be going to him when I finish with it. So let's get this into the oven. Okay, we have the streusel topping on top. We're going to get this into the oven at about 350 degrees for about an hour. Now what you want to do is you want to keep your eye on it. If you bake it in a 9-inch pan, loaf pan, it's going to take about an hour. If you bake it in an 8-inch, it's going to take about 1.25 hours. Okay, so 1 hour and 15 minutes. So just make sure you check it and you know it's done when you insert a toothpick and it comes out clean. Okay, so we're going to get this into the oven. We'll be back in about an hour. See you then. Hey guys, so we're back. Our banana nut bread came out of the oven and it smells delicious, y'all. My house smells so good right now. It's not even funny. Okay, so it's out the oven. I let it sit on the back counter for about 30 minutes just for it to cool down. And as I touch it, it's still warm to the touch, which is great because I love my banana nut bread warm. So, further ado, we are going to cut into this bad boy because I'm hungry. Very hungry. So, I'm just going to... Now, the strudel is going to crumble, y'all. Got my bread knife. I'm cutting right into it. Oh my God, that looks great. Look at that. Look at that. Can you see it? If you can't see it, I'm putting close-ups at the end of the video. But guys, I'm about to just take a piece, right? I want some of the strudel topping on it too. This right here. This right here it is. This right here it is. It is the ish. Sorry. Okay, let me stop being dumb. This banana nut bread is very moist. This banana nut bread is so moist. It's so moist. It's still a little bit warm. I love a crumb topping because it just throws off the texture. It's not all the same texture. It has that little crunch to it. It makes it even a bit sweeter. It throws it off the top. You got the nuts in it too. And guys, this is something that I'm begging you to make at home. I'm begging you to make this at home. You hear me? If I could be on my knees and still be in the shop right now, I would do it. Please make this at home. Please leave a comment below and tell me how it came out for you. Tell me how much you enjoy it because I know this is something that you're definitely going to enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to leave the recipe link down below in the description box so you can definitely try this. When you do try it, give me pictures, leave me comments, tell me how it came out, tell me how you like it. Please subscribe and like my channel so you can find out and hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a new recipe and anything new on my channel because it might not just be a recipe. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification button. Okay guys, I'll leave all my links to my social media down below. You can follow me on social media, upload pictures, tell me about your recipes and what you've been making because I love to interact with you guys and I love to know what you're making. So I'm gonna finish this slice of banana nut bread. Until next time, I see you.